Hello there guys. So right now, before going more in deep with variables, we're gonna write the function. So let's create a function which is void my function has nothing in it, open close brackets, and let's stick all the code, just leave the return 0 over here, and over here we're gonna make my function and let's close it. So what we can see here, we create a function which is before main, and we call the function here. So let's go step by step. What we first doing, we include a library, later we say we're using namespaces, later we declare float, later we have this function which is, to be honest, just being initialized. We're not running at this point anything which is inside of this function. What we're doing here, we're just initializing the function, because as you know, our program gonna start from main. So then what our compiler see, it's going to main and see, okay, from this point we have to start our program, and you can see we're calling this function right now, and our program knows where is this function because we initialized before, and it's just jumping here, execute everything which is inside of this function, then waiting for the input. When the input, we're gonna make our input, it's coming back and returning 0. So that should work. Let's have a go. It's working. But for example, I don't want to have it just over here. I just don't like it, and yeah, I'm just gonna stick it somewhere here, bit more bottom. Let's have a look if this is gonna work. No, it doesn't work. Why? Mainly it's because right now our program is going from top to bottom, and you're just going like, okay, we have our library, we have namespaces, we have variables, and then we have main, and you want to call our function, but it doesn't know where is it. To initialize for our compiler, we have to do this. So basically right now what we did, we initialize our function. So we're gonna tell it, yeah, these things exist, and it's gonna look, so where is it, and it's gonna run our program. Let's have a go and have a look. It's working now. Pretty easy, no? But not really. Let's say I want to use my variables. I'm gonna declare my variables inside of my function over here, inside of main. And right now we see that those ones said it's undefined. We cannot compile it because this function cannot see our variables. That's pretty bad. We need to do something about it, because right now those ones are local just for main. So to use them, we need to pass those variables. So to pass those variables, we're just gonna say it's B and C. Oh, and C. Just too much right now over here. Let's initialize those. What we're doing here, we passing our function to our function ABC, all the variables. We initialize those variables over here, that this function takes float value A, float value B, and float value C. And when the function is called, we just say it again. So this should work. Let's have a go. It's working. So what we're doing now, we have in our main, instead of making global variables, we're using local variables. And those local variables, we're passing them to this function. We're passing them. We're literally making copy. What we're doing here, we can have a small test. Right now, over here, in this function, we checking C, right? Let's copy this line, put in here. We don't need this one and hello world anymore. Let's assume that we passing those variables to this function. We're changing variable C and we're not returning the value. We finish this function and we're going here, and the C has not been returned by this function, so the C is supposed to be 0. As you can see, we are right now over here where RC is 0.6. When we are here on this pause, let's press the key, and now we can see RC is 0. What we're doing by passing the variable is literally copy the variable, and this variable became local to this function. So let's repeat that. Those variables are local to this main. While we're passing them, we're just making copy of them. We're changing the value of the copy, not of this variable. This is another variable right now with the same name but the same value, which is over here. And we're not returning anything. We cannot modify them. Obviously we can, but we're gonna have a look on this later on. So on the next part, we're gonna go for some more detailed stuff, and we're gonna start to write a more complicated program.